the first event for a mayor to go to the well dressing. It was a pretty pared down affair last year due to COVID, but it was still quite lovely nonetheless. And I think, if I remember rightly, because it feels like about 5 years ago I did this now, that the well dressing is to give thanks to the well for all of its delicious, life-giving, saving, preserving water. I think it's pagan, I think. Okay, what's the next one? The cocktail, I believe. Oh, look at that. It's delicious. So I teamed up with the great guys at the Flow Bar on the bridge, and we devised a cocktail which we felt would sort of represent the mayor this year. And Laura, have we got that other slide? Oh, there it is. There we go. So yeah, that'll set you back about £8.50, and a pound of that goes to Fair Frome. And it's quite delicious, I have to say. What's the next one on here? Okay. Oh yeah. I wonder if that'll ever escape me. Okay, so because in a previous life, I was a touring, recording drummer in a hardcore punk band called Sick Ones. When I became the mayor, this seemed to be quite a good sort of, I don't know what the word would be, hook for the press, and they thought that was a good story, and they got into that, and so off the back of having that sort of punk rock background, I received quite a bit of press from publications such as The Sun, that is the Army Cadet magazine there, Kerrang magazine, which was a lovely one for me, the Daily Mirror, the New York Times, and a whole bunch of other good stuff. I kind of see my role as the mayor as almost like the front man of a band. So your job as the front man of a band is to stay in the press as much as you can and to be everywhere all the time. I feel like I did a fairly decent job of that, and I'm sure most of you are sick of me by now. So I think we're on to the next slide now. Oh, okay. Right, the mayor's columns. The bane of my life, but also love them. So I've got ADHD, and so sitting down and writing and doing anything academic like that, my brain just goes, nah, we don't want to do that. And so I put it off. I remember there was one morning, it was 5 a.m, I had my head out of my window just to get some fresh air to stay asleep to finish writing the column. They take me about 4 hours on average for 400 words, so there's some maths to be done there. But I've had some really, really great comments about the column, and I thank everyone who's done that. In Iceland, in the street, in the shops, people stop me and say, I read your columns, I really like them. And that really does mean a lot to me because they take me so long to do, and they shouldn't. And I really kind of hate doing them, but when they're done, I always feel kind of proud of them. And so, yeah, it's a weird thing because I know that they're a great way of connecting with people if you do them right and getting what you need to say across. So I respect the column because it can be a very powerful vessel to say what you need to say. And at times I've been vulnerable and human and used it more as a blog, really, because I feel it needed a bit of modernising. So, what's the next one? Shout out Alex Smart for that one. Where are we now? Okay. Glow in the Park. Okay. Well, that was a lovely event. It was a great event, and I'm really proud to say that it was my idea. I put the stuff together for it, put the people together for it, But after that, really, it was the great team here at FTC that put that together and really ran with it while I dealt with other spinning plates. And it was great to see something from my head actually come out into the real world. But I won't take any more credit after that because it's all the hard work was Frome Town Council, not me. Yeah, okay. So this was one of the highlights, I think, of my year. Because I used to be an Army cadet, I've done many Remembrance Day parades as an Army cadet, and so I've had it drummed into me from a young age the importance, the significance of these events. And when I was invited to march with the veterans on Remembrance Day, I felt like it was a great honour, and I happily, humbly accepted that. And so one of my proudest moments is marching in with my old platoon and veterans and being part of such a great event. It's the Mayor's Christmas card competition, and here I am with all the winners who submitted their lovely drawings and designs. One of the better parts of the job, one of the nicer parts, is when you get to sort of celebrate these lovely little things that happen. Yeah.
The official beginning of Christmas in Frome. Can I hand over to Mayor Andy and Anita Cllr?
Make some noise! Thank you for coming out. Thank you for braving the cold. It's so good to see all of you. Make some noise for the Samba Band once again. Make some noise for the rock choir. See everyone out after such a long period of time. It's good to be together. To the right of me, I have Anita Cllr, who was the lockdown mayor. Make some noise for Anita Cllr. Should we get these lights on? Anita, will you join me and turn the lights on? Absolutely. Should we get a 10 count? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! Make some noise! Thank you for coming out. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Look after each other.
Yeah, big thank you to Harry Williams for filming that and putting that together in Bridie Fry. As you could probably tell, I hadn't written a speech. And yeah, the Samba Band was coming into the town centre and Rachel was like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "When am I on?" Like, 2 minutes. And I was like, this wave of like, "You've done it again, Andy, you've not prepared, and look what's happened." So I just went with hip hop hype man, and I think we got there. One of the best parts of that evening was being able to share that with Anita. As most of you will be aware, that during Anita's mayoral reign, it was the lockdowns, and we were in the height of COVID, and so there was many events that Anita did not get to enjoy. So it was a great pleasure to share that with you. Thank you. Yeah, great night. Loved it. Okay, so yeah, the Christmas message. We were on a bit of a roll after that edit you just seen there. That's me and Harry, who produces my podcast. He was almost like my little media man for a little while around Christmas time, and we were quite prolific at getting stuff out. And I came up with the idea of doing a video Christmas message because I felt like I hadn't seen a mayor do it before. I felt like with the equipment and stuff that we had, that we'd be able to... Did you do... Sorry. Anyway, so I had this idea, and I thought, yeah, we'll go for it. And that was quite well received. And also, I think because during that time, we were in the height of a new COVID variant, and we were all just... I could feel that there was like a morale was very low at that time because everything was uncertain about what this year was going to bring, and I felt like, well, maybe if we do a message like that, I know that these things do well on social media, and people like to see, I think they like to see me doing sort of pompous bits like that sometimes, but with like a punk rock edge to it, and I just knew, I felt like it was going to be a good thing to do. And so, yeah, it was sort of, I guess, an inspirational message of, like, let's enjoy Christmas, and 2022 is unwritten, so let's not get so down on it. And I don't think 2022 has been that bad so far. I mean, obviously overseas it's been horrible, but here in the UK it's okay. It's not as bad as I think we thought it was going to be. So that was the Christmas message. Thomas Shepherd, my man, the High Sheriff. I met Thomas at the Glow in the Park event, and I'll be honest with you, when I was told I had to hang out with a High Sheriff all day, I thought, oh no. But he was really cool, and I liked him a lot, and we got on really well, and I thought he was really fascinating, very articulate, very intelligent man, very generous with his time. And since then, he's visited the Vallis Youth Club with me. He's come to North Hill House School with me. We've done a podcast. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank Thomas, because he is no longer the High Sheriff anymore, and congratulate him on a fantastic year. And I think he was very good for Frome, and he put a lot of effort and time into Frome. So big up, Thomas Shepherd. Next slide, please. Sarah, the Deputy Mayor, what can I say? Firecracker, energy, punk rock spirit, dependable, passionate, fun, much better at this public speaking lark than I am. So often I'd bring her along if I knew I had to do something like this, and I'd say a sort of a paragraph and then let her finish it off for me. But yes, all the love to Sarah, and a big thank you, because she's been great, and I hope I've steered her in the right direction when the times have been needed, and I hope I've taught her a thing or two, as Anita did me. So yeah, big up Sarah, much love. Window Wonderland, lovely bit of stuff that. What's the next slide? Kindness Festival, that's me and Chloe there, keeping me dry, so selfless. What's the next slide? And the visual for Ukraine, that was a really emotional and poignant evening, actually, because we went there to light a candle and gather and, you know, discuss the state of the world and things. But what we didn't know was that there was going to be a handful of Ukrainian women who came from Bridgewater because they heard about the vigil. And they joined us and they shared stories about their family in Kiev and other parts of Ukraine. They FaceTime called some of their relatives, and we sort of spoke to them. And it really hammered home that this is real and it's not just a thing you see on the TV. And so that night was one of those nights, like many nights when you go and do a mayoral event, you think you kind of have a handle of how things are going to pan out, and then it takes another turn and it becomes something really special and memorable. So I'd like to thank those women for coming and sharing their story with us. Next slide, please. Hey. So yeah, thank you for all of the the love and support that I felt during my year as mayor. I felt like I've grown, I feel I've evolved and matured a little, only a little. It's a strange thing being like a figurehead of something and like representing something, and also having that like dance of like weaving your own sense of self into it and your own identity. At times it's kind of interesting because you are an entity, but you're also a person. And so juggling that feeling of like, who am I, what am I in this situation, or what am I in that situation, has been very interesting, and an experience like no other, I think. And there's been elements of leadership to the role, which there's no handbook on leadership, and I feel that being open to criticism and listening to that, thinking about it, and not letting an ego get in the way of sort of protecting you from that has been very important. Not that I've had a lot of criticism, of course, but here and there, you hear little bits and you go, okay, all right. It's important to let that melt in and think about it and do better next time. So thank you very much for all the love and support, and it's been a real honour to be your mayor. And I've winged this again. Thank you. Okay. That you've all been waiting for. Okay, so again, I haven't prepared any words really for this first bit. So throughout my year as mayor, you get to meet an awful lot of people in different community groups and doing different things throughout the town, and some of those people will stick out as being really, really dedicated, really exemplary in their role, and they leave like I guess that some of them leave a lasting impression on you, or they really impress you. And I guess that's what the Civic Awards is about, is that you want to honour those people that have, like, when you've come away from hanging out with them, you've been enriched by what they do and their message and their work ethic and what they do. And so, yeah, here's the Civic Awards. And the first one is for Jim Parsons, but Jim is not here today, is he? So Jim's son, hi. Jim's son is going to come and collect this one. Jim is the secretary of the Dissenters Cemetery. This unique place is located on Vallis Road and is the burial place of many past Frome residents. Dissenters were Christians who did not accept the 1662 version of the Book of Common Prayer. Since 2002, the cemetery has been restored by Jim and many volunteers. The award is for the continuous dedication and passion preserving and maintaining the beauty, peace, tranquility and dignity of the Frome Dissenters Cemetery. So yeah, let's get it.
I know he's watching on Zoom because we all heard him at the start.
Oh, that was Jim, was it? So if you come over here, we'll get a picture. I've got some flowers for you as well. So, here you are. Laura, any flower? Or?
Yeah, any of them.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Vase to take.
That's okay. I don't drop
Shall
it
we
anyway.
Should we take a picture with the vase? Leave the flowers in here so they don't drip everywhere,
Vase for now, I just.
and then grab them at the end. Okay. So if you,
Can't you see that bit?
yeah, I'll hold this. Hang on.
Oh, George.
Thank you.
you very much.
Thank you.
I won't do a speech.
Can Jim hear me? Can you hear me?
Don't ask him to talk.
Hi Jim, it's Andy, much love. Thank you for everything you do. Who have we got next? Okay. You're up next, Paige. Okay, up next we've got Paige Starr. Paige is the platoon leader for Frome Army Cadets. As you've probably figured out, that is a thing that's very close to my heart. Paige has gone above and beyond during the pandemic and still to this day to provide not only an Army Cadet experience for the guys there, but also much more than that, pastoral work, moral leadership, support of varying kinds. And I feel that Paige needs a big shout out and a lot of love, because I don't think that the Frome Army Cadets gets a lot of attention generally, and that's a big shame, so I'm here to do that. So, Paige, do you want to come up and get your... You take it. There you go. Shall I? I'm just thinking. I'm going to end up holding flowers in every picture. Yeah, let's swap.
He's 3 stone, but
He's 3. Well, I'm sort of 25 stone, so it's all right. Right, how are we going to do this? All right, what are we next? Okay, up next we've got Anne and Jan Taylor, who have tirelessly given their time and energy to the Gateway Club in Frome, and I've had the pleasure of hanging out with the Gateway Club quite a few times now. What are we on? 3, 4 times? In the swimming. Really, really love the Gateway Club. I love the energy. I love everything about it. The Caribbean night was great. You may have seen me in a straw skirt in the Frome Times. That was their fault. So come on up and get some love. So we've got this one here, and I don't have to hold the flowers in this one.
2 sets of flowers.
2 sets. Oh, I might have to end up holding some flowers then. So you have those in. I'll hold these. Okay. Thank you guys, very good. It's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I'll pop them up here. All right. Is Justin here? Justin. Hello, Justin. How you doing? I didn't spot you coming in. Nice to see you. Justin Warringham. Justin is the chair of the Frome Twinning Association. The association works hard to encourage relationships and links with the towns of Rabka in Poland, Murhart in Germany, and Château-Gontier in France. Justin plays a key role in the visiting all twin towns, hosting and coordinating the other Twinning Association members who host, and generally spearheading the whole twinning movement. This is awarded for tireless efforts representing Frome admirably in our valued twin towns.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Good, very nice. Yeah.
I'll hold the flowers.
You'll hold the flowers. Good, excellent.
I can get,
You're very accustomed to that.
I can
aren't
get
you?
used to this.
Can I just say a couple of words?
Absolutely,
about
go
Andy?
for it. Go
Can I just say a couple of words on behalf of our twin town Rabka? I just want, on their behalf, to say a huge thank you for the generosity of the Frome people. Absolutely astonishing. Well done.
Can we get one more round of applause for everyone who's got an award tonight? Thank you. Ah, yes, we have one more who isn't here today. But it's Grace Madrell, who has written books on climate change, who does talks on climate change, rallies, all kinds of activism. It's very inspiring. They're a very young age. As I said, they're not here tonight, but I really look forward to catching up with them soon and giving them their award in person. So we'll do a round of applause for Grace, who isn't here. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a real honour to be able to give these out. So thank you very much to everyone involved. We're doing transition. Yes.
So this part of the agenda reflects the function of this meeting. It's the annual town meeting. It's nothing to do with the council. The council just has to put it on behalf of the people. So it's an opportunity for residents, people in the community to ask questions, make points, say whatever you'd like to say, can or cannot necessarily be directed to this council or any other council or about anything. It's just an opportunity to raise some issues. So over to you, Andy.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, do we have any questions and comments from the public or councillors? Wow. Okay, cool. Does this mean we're doing a good job? I don't know. Does this mean we're doing... Yes, go for it.
I think the town council does a really good job. Yeah, you can, so people can hear me. I think the town council does a really good job, and I think we should all be really proud of everything that is done locally. For me personally, I'm really impressed with the rangers who manage our public spaces, which I spend a lot of time in. So yeah, thank you for that and everything else that you do.
Well, thank you very much. Should we give the rangers a round of applause? Rachel, you've got some online comments, yeah?
We've got a comment from Alan Dennison who says, "How about a twin? How about a twin with a twin in Ukraine?"
Good idea.
Go to Justin on that one, I think.
Yeah, let's go to Justin on that one.
With the help of it will need the help of the town council because you are officially the people who signed the charter, but why not?
I like that. That's a very Frome attitude, isn't it? Why not? Why not? Let's do it. Why not? Any more, Rachel? No? Any more comments, questions before I move on? Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, so next up we have a presentation from the Frome Town Council grants recipients for 2021/22.
Hi, I'm Laura, the Executive Assistant to the Town Clerk and Mayor. So I put a shout out to all of our grant recipients for 21-22 to talk about all of the wonderful projects they've been doing, and with a little or a lot of help with the Town Council, and I had an amazing response. So I've put together a little presentation, and hopefully lots of organisations are here, and they're just going to give a quick 1 minute presentation on what they've been up to using their grant. So first up we have Active and in Touch, and I think Dougie is here somewhere. Lovely. Yeah, if you, can you put the...
Oh,
There you are.
good. Thanks, Andy. Never start a presentation with an apology, but I'm going to apologise because I'm going to take 2 minutes. I've got 6 slides. We had 2 grants from the Town Council, one for our core activities and one for our portrait in a pandemic, which we did with Black Swan Arts. I'm not going to talk about the portrait, I'm just going to talk about our core activities. The first thing I want to say is thank you for the Town Council, but also to the staff in this council, because there is no way we would have coped as well in this pandemic year and last year, but this year particularly, without your help. So thank you very much for that. The second thing is why do we do what we do? Can you just go back? Yeah. So we help anyone who is isolated and lonely, and that is of any age. There is a perception that isolation and loneliness is in the older generation. It is in the older generation, and it's more permanent in the older generation, but actually the youngest person we've got that we look after is 23, and there's no reason why it couldn't be lower. And the second thing I just want people to understand is we do that to make people healthier and increase their well-being. And so Active in Touch in the future will be looking at other ways to see how we can help people's well-being and their health, not just about isolation. What do we do? So we do a number of things. We do a telephone call to people who are isolated or lonely. We've done a lot of those during the pandemic. We do visits. Currently, we do double the amount of phone calls to visits, but as the pandemic starts to release, that will turn around and go the opposite way. Sorry, the next one, please, Laura, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I'll let the next one then. Yeah. So that is what support we've offered this year. Literally over 16,000 engagements. That an engagement is a contact with someone who is isolated or lonely. So that has either been one-to-one visits, one-to-one phone calls, taking people on essential journeys. I don't know if everyone's aware, but from January 21, we merged with Frome Community Drivers, and that is now part of Active and in Touch and doing a tremendous job doing that as well. We also had some events. So we were charity for Frome Half Marathon. We did our portrait of a pandemic. We had a tea in the park. Again, that was all organised by the Town Council and the team here, which we helped to just put tea on. So brilliant. And then the next one. What's the impact of that? I'll just let you read that. But basically, less people going into hospital, less people asking for doctor's appointments. There are over 50 people this year who didn't leave home, and they had no one doing anything for them. Again, the Town Council gave us funding to shop for them, and we shopped for them specifically because they were shielding, and we took food round to them. And we've just started to do a lot more vaccination runs. So we've done over 250 vaccination runs this year, going to places like Shepton Mallet where there isn't a common bus route. We've been able to get people there. And then finally, just a recognition this year, we were awarded the Queen's Award for Valuable Volunteer Service. That's not to Active in Touch, that is absolutely to the volunteers who work, and it's basically the MBE for volunteer organisations. 2 organisations got that. I'm blowing my own trumpet now, but 2 organisations got that in Somerset this year. We got Somerset Medal, and also we were the Frome Times Group of the Year. Future for Active Touch, I think the collaboration with the Town Council, the Town Hall, but future collaborations with Frome Medical Practice, we're their Charity of the Year this year, but also we are doing dementia training to help people understand about dementia, and we're looking at other ways we can help people with their well-being and health. Thank you.
Next up is Adventure, please. And if we can keep to the 1 minute, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
So, also from Adventure, many thanks to Frome Town Council to support our work, and with that, of course, also the people of Frome. The support that Frome Town Council has been supporting us was one project that we've done in partnership with Cllr, a forest school. So we helped them with a group of young adults set up a growing project for young people. And then we've also been working to support new projects and social enterprises to start and develop in Frome. And we've had, we run 10 short courses with over 120 people coming, joining. And the way we always pick a theme, for example, growing, making growing into a business. And we invite amazing growers and people in the Frome area who do this work already to share their skills and ideas. So it's a really lovely way in which Frome people share their skills and knowledge with other Frome people. And likewise, we also connect people and support, work with local, some local people to support with things like fundraising support, business planning, and all of that. So yeah, thank you very much for enabling us to do that work.
Frome Bath Talk couldn't be here, but they sent us a little nice slide about the counselling. Oh, you're there! You're there! Yay! Someone came. Lovely, thank you.
I tried really hard to stick to the minute. And I am here, so that's it, that's the minute. I'm Karen Patrick, I'm the founder of Frome Birth Talk. We were founded in 2016, and what we provide is a free face-to-face counselling service for pregnant women and birthing people that are postnatal and in the first year after having a baby or babies. We, as well as providing face-to-face counselling service, we also provide support groups, and the aim of that is to connect people within the local community so that they can support each other through what is often quite a challenging time, and has especially been a challenging time during the pandemic, and continues to be with the financial pressures that people are struggling with, and also with the pressures on the maternity service that we've all been hearing about, and how that reduces the choices that are available to people and reduces the amount of services that are available within the statutory services. So we're there to support it. In 2016, we set up to provide counselling for what we thought was going to be about 15 women a year. That's what had happened in the year previously when we had a funded counselling service. We saw in 2021, we provided short-term counselling for 72 people. And we also have been really proud to continue with our groups throughout the pandemic, obviously not face-to-face. One of the challenges that we struggled with was actual physical space, because Frome Hospital kindly donated space to us for our groups and also for our counselling. And they needed to repurpose that space during the pandemic. So we turned to Frome Town Council, and they kindly have funded some space for us. So we were able to hire a hall that gave us, meant that we could get our mums and babies back together, socially distanced, and also a space in Frome, therapy rooms for our face-to-face counselling. So we're doing about 50% remote counselling via Zoom links and telephone, and 50% we're back to face-to-face, and that's where we'll continue to go. So thank you very much for your support.
Just because we've got such a lovely response from our grant recipients, my colleague Rachel will be holding up a yellow card just to tell you when you've got 10 seconds left, just because we want to fit everyone in and give everyone the fair chance to talk. So just a heads up.
Okay, 1 minute, go. Hi. My name's Chris James. It's my great honour and privilege to be a board member of the Frome Area Community Land Trust, or faculty as we like to call it. So just say a bit about Community Land Trusts at the outset. Okay, not-for-profit, community-based organisations. They are there, they exist to ensure the community stewardship of land. Okay, that's its general purpose. They can support a whole range of different types of development, but actually the long-term housing affordability tends to be its main focus. Okay, so faculty, Frome Area Community Land Trust, Community Benefit Society, we've got about 120 members, a board of volunteer directors and 2 part-time paid workers. So homes built. What are the benefits? You need to know the benefits that faculty can bring to Frome. Homes built are available for social rent in perpetuity, forever. Okay, they don't get sold on, there's no right to acquire. They stay in the community and are available for social rent, which is about 50% of the going rate. So that's significant if you are without a home or you're struggling in any way. The faculty can make homes available to that to people like that in that position. Whoa, I'm reading it. Okay. There are a number of other benefits. I've got 10 seconds left. We need community support if we're going to succeed. We seek to inform, educate, consult and engage the local community. We cannot do this on our own. We must engage the local community. You have to come with us on this. And so the grant that we've got from Frome Town Council will enable us to do this very important engagement work. Homes are central things in our lives. We cannot do anything, I would argue, without having a secure and safe and stable home. So that's why faculty is important, and that's why we really appreciate the support that we get from Frome Town Council. Thank you.
Really quickly. Okay, slow down. All right, so I am Lucy Chadwick and I run Focus Frome. So Focus Frome is a counselling organisation. We offer free or low-cost counselling to adults, couples, families, young people and children. And we've been given quite a bit of funding through Frome Town Council, which we're ever so grateful about. So basically, we're based at St John's Forecourt, just by St John's Church. Approximately 80% of our clients are subsidised. We currently have 11 counsellors now working out of Focus Frome. We have continued to do face-to-face throughout the whole pandemic. We've created different ways of being able to do that. And we have specialist counsellors dealing with all sorts of different issues, from sexual abuse to trauma to eating disorders to anxiety, depression, all the others. So, and we're able to keep our waiting list down really low. So when people normally are going into wanting counselling now, they're waiting months, but when they come to us, we can almost always say that we'll do it within 2 to 3 to 4 weeks at the most. And we really pride ourselves on that. So since getting this last £2,000, we've conducted 1,041 counselling sessions. And in December, even when COVID struck again, we were able to continue doing that face-to-face. We currently have 15 clients that are being supported directly through Frome Town Council. So to let you know that of the last 54 sessions that we've done through the Frome Town Council grant, 22 of those sessions were funded by £15 or less, and 32 sessions were subsidised by £20 or more.
we get really good feedback. We get like 90% feedback back from our clients saying that we're doing a great job. And I just want to end with a client who accessed counselling through the Frome Town Council grant, and this is what she said. Thank you so much for the love, care and kindness that you have given over the last few months. With your expert support, I now feel so much stronger and able to cope, and I'm so grateful for all that you do and give. So thank you, Frome Town Council. You're amazing. Love you.
Hi, there should be loads of pictures, I think. You can just rattle through them if they're there, which might be really distracting. So I run this project. It's for people living with dementia, and it's all about connecting to nature. So everyone knows that connecting to nature is amazing for our well-being, but it's proven to have even greater benefits for people with dementia in terms of their symptoms and progression. So, and at the same time, people with dementia often don't access the outdoors, and our project's all about removing the barriers to people getting outdoors. So the sessions are free, we can provide free transport, we do all kinds of things, challenging risk-averse notions that people can't use power tools. We create a safe, held environment for people to do that and celebrate what we can still do together. At the same time, it's all about helping wildlife, so we do a lot of conservation stuff. Again, huge thanks to the ranger team, because I've been working more and more closely with them. We recently created a pond down at the Welsh Mill Roundhouse together, so go and have a look at that if you've not seen it. It's looking really good. That's everything. I'll leave it to the next person. Thanks.
Speech in a minute before. Thank you very much, Frome Town Council, for the Frome Festival grant of last year. Last year we celebrated our 20th anniversary. There's 80 slides here. We're going to get through 3 of them. And we celebrated it. They gave us a very fine grant, which enabled us to carry on, despite the fact that we were cancelled the year before. 20th anniversary, Martin Bax at the back of the room gave a very good presentation about the early days of the Frome Festival. And we had an exhibition at Rook Lane, which was lovely. This year we're going ahead with more events than ever. We learned a lot last year. We only did 120 events, which isn't bad. And those events, many of them were outside because of COVID restrictions. So we thought that was good. So we're going to do even more open air events. And with Frome Town Council's grant, we're doing children's plays in the park. We're doing things on ECOS. We're doing things in Rook Lane, and it's all going to be fantastic. It's 260 record-breaking events. I'm leaving. That's good. Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, Cameron was going to be here, but I don't know whether he's been able to join us online, but shout if you are here. But this was another great event in the town for the Open Art Trail. Nope. Okay, moving on. Tennis Club.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Frome Selwood Tennis Club. Thank you for your grant of £2,000. It's really enabled us to kickstart our project. Behind me is the old clubhouse, which was built by our members in 1996. And as you can see, construction for our new clubhouse is well underway. The steel cladding's up. Next, we expect glass sliding doors in for summer viewing. We'll have an outdoor covered seating area. We'll also have disabled toilets and a shower. It's important to mention that this won't just be for use by our club members, but also the local tennis community. This helps us with our aim of enabling fitness and well-being for all through tennis. And we can't wait to see you up here on court with us soon. We expect this project to be finished in June, which will enable us to celebrate our 100th year anniversary. And again, we can't wait to see you up here for that. So thank you very much for your grant from all of the committee, from our members, and more importantly, from our local tennis community. See you soon.
Okay, that was Ollie. He was selected to do that. He's our communications person, and I was far too old to do anything, so we put Ollie forward. We had 2 grants. The other one was the Reaching Out scheme, where we provide free coaching, free club membership, and free rackets to any children who are on the pupil premium. That's for low-income families. And just finally, I'd just like to thank Paul and Chris Stringer, and the ranger whose name I cannot ever remember or pronounce, David something, for helping us with access to build the pavilion, because we had problems getting up our drive, and the council kindly agreed to let us go across the Mary Bailey Field. So thank you very much. Thank you.
So all you've got is a pile of photographs if you want to look at them later. Good if you wanted to. Yes, okay. Right. Gateway Club is a club for adults with learning disabilities. We're part of MENCAP. We've been going in Frome for 50 years. By nature of learning disability, it means you're not always welcome in some social places, and often you can't take yourself there, and sometimes you can't afford things. So the social arm of MENCAP, Gateway Club, has been putting on social activities for a long time. We just about meet our basic expenses with subs and a bit of internal fundraising, which we're not good at because of the whole nature of organising it, with people who can't understand what they should be doing, collecting money and things. So our basic costs are met for general club nights, but when it comes to treats, we need the help, like we've had from Frome Town Council, to do these extra things. So this year, we had a mayor's grant to go to Burnham-on-Sea. It paid towards our coach trip. We had a wonderful day out. Lockdown's been tough for them, but this meant we could actually get to the seaside, so that was brilliant. And later on in the year, we had help, another mayor's grant to do the Christmas party. And for this, we also included Christmas presents, because some people don't have families of their own to give presents. They don't have their own families to take them out and do these special things. So for some, our activities are their only activities. So thank you, Frome Town Council, for making this possible. And you've been the icing on our cake. Thank you.
The Water Polo Club couldn't be here, but they sent this little summary for us. So they said, we applied for the grant to create a junior water polo section within Frome Swimming Club. The timing was perfect, as a couple of weeks of receiving the grant, we were offered some pool time by the sports centre to start the sessions. We are now getting approximately 15 to 20 kids attending the sessions and played our first game a few weeks back. I would like to thank Frome Town Council for their help in kick-starting this programme, and we hope to grow the club even further going forward. Know whether Jackdaws were able to make it, so they've just sent us a few slides just to tell us about what they've been up to. So their project was 10 years of chamber music for schools. It was conceived to introduce children to chamber and small ensemble instrumental music. More than 20,000 children in Somerset over 10 years have enjoyed years of projects. Oh gosh, so they were given specific funding for this year of the Cllr event, so I'll let everyone read that one. I won't go into complete detail on that. And these are some lovely pictures of what they've been up to along here. There we go. Fantastic. Thank you. Jellyfish Theatre have sent a video, so hopefully this will work. Oh, crikey. No. Why is it paused? Resume share. Let's move on to the next one, and the Macular Society.
Hi, I haven't done this before, so you'll have to bear with me. Hello everyone, I'm Vera and I'm with our group leader, Nikki, over there. I'm treasurer of the Macular Society Frome Support Group. And that's for the people with macular degeneration, which is short, in short, is an illness of the eyes where gradually you lose your central vision and can only see blurred from the sides, making them partially sighted. Me and Nikki would like to thank you so much for the award, our group from the Frome Mayor's Grant. As fundraising has been impossible over the last 2 years, so all our members are 80 plus and partially sighted. Most live on their own, but are firstly independent, which is where our monthly group meetings are so important. We all get together at the cricket club and have a very fun time, a social meeting with quizzes, raffles, tea and biscuits, and in the summer months we take them out for trips, fish and chips, cream teas, and Christmas a 3-course lunch every Christmas. We were only a small group of 18 at the moment. We had 7 members die within the pandemic. And now the committee consists of just Nikki and myself as the active volunteers, as Pat Mason has stepped down from the leader. So this is why the grant means so much to us, to keep these meetings going. Some of the grant money has been used already for Ella's 100th birthday, and she is our oldest member. And we gave her a small party, a birthday cake, bouquet of flowers, bunting, etc. And the rest of the money, we'll be treating them all to fish and chips later on. So I'd just like to say a big, big thank you to the Mayor's Grant. It's very much appreciated. Thank
you. Okay, I'm going to attempt another video. Wish me luck this time.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Richard Asprey, and it's my very great privilege to be a trustee of the Frome Memorial Theatre, just across the road there. And on behalf of our chair, Humphrey Barnes, who is unable to be with us this evening, we'd like to thank the Frome Town Council for its very generous grant. We're going to be using that to replace our ageing lighting console, which in essence is a large and quite expensive, very expensive computer that controls all of our stage lighting. And that enables us to continue to attract a wide range of acts and performers, and thus in turn provide for the community of Frome a wide range of acts and entertainment in a place which we try and keep as accessible and as affordable as possible. So on behalf of all our volunteers, and there are over 100 of them, thank you very much indeed for your kind grant, and we look forward to entertaining you at some stage at the Memorial Theatre. And just as a short advert, because I haven't got my yellow card yet, this Friday, come what may, in 2 weeks' time, the Illegal Eagles, you might like that, Andy, and of course the Frome Musical Theatre Company's performance of Shrek in early May. Thank you very much indeed.
Frome Missing Links. We started it 100 million years ago. It's joining bits of cycle path together to make the route flat and off the traffic free. You know, it's in the go. Have you ever done the route to Great Elm up those hills? It's a nightmare. So hopefully you've got some pictures. She hasn't got my pictures. God, and I brought them like 5 seconds before the meeting, Laura. Can you believe it? Well, if you've ever walked to Watcombe Fields, you know it stopped in the middle of nowhere and it got a bit nearer. We built a bit more. Thank you. Thank you, Frome Town Council. We had free support from the tarmackers, so we're inching a bit nearer. We're nearly to Cooper Hall now. We planted some trees. We had a picture of Rich pushing a wheelbarrow with saplings. It's really coming together. We just got £30,000 from Mendip. We're getting a bit further this year. Eventually, when children who aren't yet born yet start cycling, you'll get all the way through to Bath, I promise.
I don't know if Jenny was able to be here online. No. Oh, there's the photos. They're there. There they are. Missing link photos there, there's the proof. They got a bit jumbled, apologies. Hold you to that. South Oakfield Road Neighbourhood Group. Nope. There's some lovely pictures about a street party. So the Mayor's grants have enabled quite a lot of the neighbourhood networks to have street parties and things by allowing public liability insurance costs to be paid for. Open Storytellers. I think Jade's online. Is she there? She's appearing. Oh, should we go backwards? Sorry, do apologise, Alan. Are you able to unmute? Okay. This is going super well. What's Jade said, sorry? Okay, I will do. Alan will try and come back to you. So Open Storytellers is a community arts charity supporting people with learning disabilities to find their voice and use it. We would like to raise a toast and say a huge cheers to Frome Town Council. Frome Town Council have helped Open Storytellers to support 53 people with learning disabilities and complex needs at our hub in Frome. We loved our visit from Andy, the Mayor. He dropped some beats for a CD that one of our members is making. We also love having guests who share their hobbies with us, like metal detecting, and we always take part in Window Wonderland. And one of their members, Michael, said, "I love coming to get connected. I don't want to go home afterwards." Mojo Moves bring amazing dance tunes for a fun afternoon workout too, and our wellbeing group love getting zen on a Tuesday morning with our yoga tutor. Our sensory book clubs bring books to life through story, drama, music and props. Oh, I've just got a dinosaur friend, thank you. And we sailed the high seas and around the world in 80 days and unlocked the door to the secret garden. Frome Town Council has helped us provide jobs for people with learning disabilities, and Cllr says, my job at Open Storytellers means the world to me. Thank you, Frome Town Council, and thank you, Jade, for your presentation. So, Alan, are you there?
Yep.
There we go. Do you like your 1 minute?
Thank you. It's starting now.
Yep. Go for it.
Right. So, good evening, everybody. I'm joining you from London, but as my background shows, my heart is very much in Frome at the moment. I'm overawed at the various projects that I've seen before me. I'm a little project, and we set up a support group during the first lockdown to support the people of South Oakfield Road, the southern part of that. Frome Town Council, through Frome Neighbourhood Network, was really good at supporting us put on a street party. It was a small grant for a small group, but it meant a lot to the people that joined us. So thank you very much, Frome Town Council, to Hannah and to all the people at the council for helping us. Only a little group, but it went a long way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. Apologies for missing you. And we had Pace, who got a Mayor's Grant for a trip to Weston-super-Mare. And they've kindly sent us in some photos of their members as well, with some bits and pieces of what they've been up to. And the Packsaddle Community Group also received a Mayor's Grant. There we go. Going to get a presentation. Thank you very much.
Hello. Gosh, what an amazing evening, hearing all about these fantastic groups in Frome. I'm absolutely staggered. Anyhow, I'm from the Packsaddle Community Group. Should be Miriam Hare who's here, but she's away on holiday. And we're so grateful for the Mayor's grant of £300, which was to fund events in the Packsaddle Park, particularly to pay for the annual insurance of £125.65, and wasn't for a specific project, but we focused on well-being and health, physical and mental, by using the play park up there, which now has a sandpit, pool, piste, wonderful views, a chat bench, so if you sit there, it means you want to talk to somebody. And we have a community group Facebook page to link people up, share boxes, notice boards, all those things. And in the environment, sustainability was the other thing we do, with a great help from Helen Viner and her rangers team. We've planted fruit trees in two bits, well, the play park and another part of the park, and they're blossoming already. We really planted them February. And events since we received the Mayor's grant and those that are planned, we had community carols at Christmas, attended by 70 people. Last Christmas, we're having a St George's Day dragon's egg hunt instead of Easter eggs on the 23rd, and a big Platinum Jubilee lunch for the Queen in June, and a free cycling day in autumn. And a resident has said, something has changed here. It feels different, feels more of a community now. So thank you very much for the money you've given us to help us. Thank you.
Next slide. Next slide. So it's a brand new festival of photography for Frome. It's going to be on for almost 4 weeks. We have national and international photographers, including a special one from the border of Russia and the EU. Next slide. We've got a set of group exhibitions. So altogether there'll be something like 50 photographers showing in this festival. Next, please. We've got a lot of talks and workshops, and some we're doing jointly with Frome Museum. For example, Sealy. Next slide, please. We'll be in almost every venue in town. Again, it's on for 4 weeks, so it's quite a long time. Next slide, please. We're also going to be giving away our photographs from the festival to put in stores, bars, restaurants, anybody that wants it. You won't be able to avoid photography. Sorry, go back. Yeah, that's the one. Sorry, Nick. So we'd like to thank Frome Council very much for starting this off. It's at least a 5-year programme. It's going to be on every year. We think it's going to be a big deal for Frome and actually for the southwest of the UK. And this area desperately needs something good for photography. And I think that was 1 minute.
Sue came in somewhere.
I don't know if she might be able to stay, but there is a very nice video that Purple Elephant, so Sue Willis.
While the last year has continued to be dominated by COVID, we've carried on supporting local families and developed our new services. We ran family activities in each of the school holidays, developing a new COVID-safe approach with family support workers at each session. Our befriending service focuses on supporting children with their mental health by giving them a friend they can rely on. The children referred to us face daily challenges at home. We aim to give them stability and positivity. The Toy Library is a universal service which gives families the space to focus on play with their little ones, to meet other families, and to reduce costs and waste by borrowing instead of buying. Small Steps is for families with preschool children who are struggling with parenting and need support to develop resilience. We're very excited to be getting back to a full-on event again, and especially privileged to be designing the event together with children and young people with additional needs and disabilities. Wherever possible, we support families with little extras that help to bring joy to their lives, taking suggestions from families and making them happen. Well, the
Rare Species, they weren't able to be with us, but they are the Mojo Moves, as everyone knows in town, that do brilliant events. The Rook Lane Arts got a Mayor's Grant. There we go, lovely. Helen and Martin are doing a presentation.
Our project is all about bells. During the 17th and 19th centuries, Frome was home to the Cockeys family of bell founders. At least 25 church towers in Somerset still include Cockey bells in their rings. We want to encourage curiosity about bells and their history, involving local people in ringing, listening, learning, and making new bell tunes. Central to the project will be a new bell tune, a melody made up of recordings of bells from within a 10-mile radius of Frome. The new bell tune will be launched at a special community event and then installed as a temporary sonic clock in the middle of the town to ring out the hours across Frome. Although conceived as a Platinum Jubilee celebration, we see the bell tune as being all about Frome, and as such it may be used to mark special occasions, any special occasions in the calendar. Rook Lane Arts Trust and Art Music both regularly collaborate with local partners. These include Frome Society for Local Studies, who have also awarded us a grant, and there are new partners too, such as local bell ringing teams. All aspects of the project are designed to be free and accessible to all by engaging people, particularly the young, in demonstrations and workshops, and by relaying the carillon tune across the town, we will encourage an interest in and enthusiasm for bells and bell ringing.
We were thrilled to receive the grant and support from the Mayor and the Town Council, and we thank you very much indeed. Unfortunately, we did not receive the grant from the Arts Council, who had to admit that they were overwhelmed with grant applications. They said that our refusal was not in any way due to the quality of the application. So we are very disappointed that we will not be able to proceed with the project in time for the Jubilee. However, we are determined to resubmit the application sometime in the future and very much hope that the Mayor's grant can be held over for a more successful outcome. Thank you very much.
few slides, so I might have to give you a little nod. I'm Katie Marshall. I'm here from Science Boost, and in a bid to keep it short, I'm just going to talk to you about the project that the Town Council supported. So that is Seedlings to Saplings, our preschool playgroup. You can hit the next slide now. There we go. We meet in the woods and do science. That's probably the best way to summarise it. It's for preschool children and their adult caregivers, and we're trying to get them to kind of engage with nature and with each other in that environment. There's another, yeah. So most of our participants agreed that it's benefited their mental health, which is great because that's one of the key focuses we were hoping for. Everyone agreed that they'd been noticing or appreciating nature more as a result of coming along to the group, so that was great. And everyone agreed that they'd been able to bond with their child more from the time spent at the group, which was good. And the kids have really made friends, and they've really been working together and developing their social skills, which I think is particularly important for this age group, having been shut away from other people for the majority of their lives, lots of them. But it's nice to see them all kind of coming out their shells and bonding a bit. So that's me. I think that was probably it.
Going to join online. Yep. If you can unmute. Jenny, are you there to able to unmute? Okay. Perhaps we've lost Jenny. This was Shared Earth Learning. Oh. Just bear. Okay, bear with us. Thank you for your patience.
Hello. Hiya. I'm Jenny. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I'm talking on behalf of Shared Earth Learning. I'm one of the co-directors of the organisation here to say a great big thank you for Frome Town Council for the grant towards our adults wellbeing group. Could I have the next slide, please? Shared Earth Learning, also known as Cllr, we are a charitable cooperative, and our aim is to nurture a love of nature. This is our polytunnel up at the Vallisfed site. Next slide, please. Our adult wellbeing group was described by one of its attendees as a desperately needed place of feeling welcome and connected to others out in nature. And here's one of the activities our participants undertake, which is campfire cooking. Next slide, please. We know that people say they get peace of mind knowing that there's a regular group where they can find in-person human connection each week. And that's been particularly important during the pandemic period. And as our group meets outdoors, we've been able to continue with our weekly meetings for adults with additional needs right through the period of the pandemic. Next slide, please. We support referrals from Frome Health Connectors as well as self-referrals, and we help people with loneliness, depression, mental and physical ill health, or a range of other needs. Next, please. One of our participants said that the group truly buoys me up. It's a very special place with very special people, and they would like to give heartfelt thanks to everybody who makes it possible. So next slide, please. So thank you very much from us. Our Shared Earth Learning website has just been redeveloped with help from the guys at Adventure. So a big shout out to our friends at Adventure who we've collaborated with on Project Grow. We offer services for adults, for young people. We're a charitable cooperative that prioritises those in our community who are least able to access nature. Find out more about us at sharedearthlearning.org. And thank you again.
Don't believe, unfortunately, the pod. Oh, the pod, they're here, yay!
Hi, my name's Christina. I'm from The Right Place, which is an organisation set up for people to be able to write together. We have 2 studios at the top of the Black Arts Centre in Frome. We're a not-for-profit organisation. It's staffed by volunteers. We have 12 desk spaces, and up until 2020, when COVID came around, we were self-funding. We had 22 members, and everything was great. With the advent of COVID, membership obviously dropped off, and also subsequently what happened is when we could reopen again, we had to make sure our desks were all socially distanced. So the amount of members we were allowed to have went down to 7. So from being a kind of healthy financial organisation, we kind of came a little bit precarious. So we asked Frome Town Council for help to create publicity. We had a website, but it was very rudimentary, not really fit for purpose. So we've used the money to update the website, to link it to our Facebook page, and to add to social media platforms so we can reach out to younger audiences and have lots of very tasteful flyers of all sorts of different shapes and sizes printed up, because we know once we get our publicity out there that we're quite able to get our membership up to a level 22 to 24, which makes us self-sustaining. I just want to say one of the reasons that we've asked for help is because we keep our membership fees as low as possible, because it's really important to us to be accessible. It isn't just a space where writers sit down and write, although we do that. It's much more of a community. It's very supportive. We encourage all writers, whether they would just put a pen to paper before or people are working on novels. It's very isolating writing, if any of you know, so it's very important for people to have the support of the community. I just want to read you something from one of our members, a young mother of 5 called Zoe, and this is what she said that The Right Place means to her. The Right Place has given me the space and the quiet to cultivate and nourish the creative part of myself again, and to regain a sense of identity outside of motherhood. The support and encouragement I have found in this haven have given me the confidence to consider myself as a real writer today. And Zoe's now gone on to do a BA in creative writing. So that's the kind of thing that we do. So thank you very much, Frome Town Council.
Okay, so Trio Parody got a community grant for music at Christchurch, so that was a community grant for that one. The Victoria Road Neighbourhood Group also received a mayor's grant. Don't know if we've got anyone here. Oh no, sorry, Esme wasn't able to attend, but they've also sent us some very lovely pictures of the street party that they were able to have last summer. We hear you. I think that's Ruth again.
I've just cunningly disguised myself from a volunteer at Missing Links to my day job. I work 3 days a week for We Hear You, and we provide free professional counselling for anybody affected by cancer or other life-threatening conditions. We were started by one Frome woman, but we now operate across 3 counties, and we provide 140 sessions every week. So we reach a lot of people, but we've had a huge deluge of people since last autumn. I don't know if you've had the same, Lucia. So we've got a waiting list, and we also don't like having a waiting list. So we've come up with a slightly new thing, holding families, which we just got the money from the town council. So I haven't got any personal quotes, but we're really chuffed because when a family has a diagnosis that's life-threatening, it affects them all, and you know, it's really tough. And if they refer all of their family members for counselling, it can't be the same counsellor who sees them all. So we've got this family support telephone call system, so we can help families to just think about how to cope with those early days when, you know, you've fallen off the edge of a precipice, really. So I've got some stock photos here, but I have included a photo from North Parade because we were very cosy here along the corridor in Frome Town Council. So we miss you guys, but it's really nice having our own front door, because otherwise we'd have been counselling in that room here and you'd have heard all this tonight. So actually it's quite nice having our own little room. So I've set up photos. But yeah, we normally have counselling for children, adults, teenagers, young people, all ages. We've been doing a lot of art therapy, which is why there's one of the boxes of children's toys. They all have to have their own box now because of you know what. But yeah, it's there as long-term support, but the family support sessions are a sort of a quick extra fix. So we're really chuffed, and we'll report back in due course how they go. Thanks, guys.
Two parts, 30 seconds each. So Multicultural Frome is a group that supports and celebrates cultural diversity, and we have a big event, and that's in October normally. So we managed to do it last year. We only missed 1 year, and we had about 700 people either came to the event or were involved in the event. And everybody, the idea is people are just celebrating their own culture. They're not professionals, they're just sharing what they would like to share. And I don't know what else to say, that's it really, isn't it? We are working towards, we're sharing some recipes, so throughout the year we don't just have the festival, we have little meetups, and it's a space for people to share whatever they like to, and we're going to produce a recipe book hopefully.
Brilliant. Hello, so I'm here representing ARC, Frome ARC, Frome ARC, which is anti-racist communities, which we were very grateful to receive funding under the umbrella of Young People Frome. Get that right way around. Yep. I'm just representing a collective, so you know it's quite a. It's not just me, basically. There's a real collective. I'm just going to read the notes because it's important to get across the right stuff, and I'm just not good with time. Okay. We are an informal network of local people who are committed to promoting and developing meaningful work around anti-racism within our community. We work under the umbrella of Young People Frome. We meet as a group, welcoming new members and setting out terms of reference for the group. This has included a new website, social media platforms, networking and building partnerships. We have been collecting resources and books and have been negotiating with Frome Library about having a resource base there, which has now been confirmed, and we are waiting for them to reopen for that to start. As part of an engagement with schools, we have been fortunate enough to receive some funding from Frome Town Council to offer local schools a small amount of funding to attend a book browsing event with Hunting Raven, which they could select books based around diversity and anti-racism, and just to diversify the school libraries. We were also nominated by the bookshop to receive all the Jalak Prize book winners, books of British BAME writers, and these will go into the resource base that will be in the library. All Frome First schools were invited to our Senior Leaders Conference introducing the Black curriculum. The conference was facilitated by Orleen Badu, a leading expert in this area and an ex-head teacher and founder of the Black Contribution, a network on the Black curriculum. There was also an excellent turnout, and schools were taken through a number of examples of ways in which to introduce the Black curriculum to their various subject areas. we are hoping to build on the conference with regular support groups. And I just want to give a massive shout out to all the schools in Frome that did attend, because we had a really great turnout. We've also established some strong partnerships through our partnership with State of Emergency, a dance-based history of the Windrush. We have enabled workshops to take place in Frome College and have been building relationships with SARI, Stand Up Against Racism and Equality Group, to put on some workshops in schools and in the local community. This has been a real trial, and so the funding from Frome Town Council has meant so much, because the conference was a massive big deal, and we really want to focus on education and bringing it into our community as a collective. So yeah, thank you.
Just want to make sure I haven't missed anyone that was expecting to present. Thank you everyone so much for your contributions.
Well, yes, thank you everyone for coming up and keeping us updated with what you've been up to. I think I can speak for everyone when I say it's a pleasure to help support all of you guys. And it's so great to hear you come back and tell us what you've been up to. It's really great. So another round of applause for everyone. Okay, we've got the last part of the meeting now. This is Councillor Andy Palmer, who's the leader of the council. He's going to come up and give you his summary of the year. It's the main event. Make some noise. Andy Palmer.
Thank you. Graveyard slot. So I won't keep you very long, but part of what this is supposed to be is a review of the year, really to inform everyone of the types of things that Frome Town Council have been doing over the last 12 months. So 2021-22 really marked, I guess, the first steps out of COVID in terms of pandemic life and multiple lockdowns, and felt like we were returning to a much more normal way of life. Obviously, this presented opportunities as well as challenges, and I'll talk about some of those in a moment. So ahead of presenting this review, I asked the management team really if they could provide me with a synopsis of probably the number one or biggest area or piece of work that they have worked on throughout the year, or throughout 2021-22. So my reasoning for this was twofold. First of all, I wanted to check that I knew as much as I thought I did, which for the most part was okay. And the second part, I thought it was a really good idea to renew in my mind and get a renewed feel for the sense of pride that I think our officers feel in the work that they deliver. The good news for me was that actually the synopsis that I got back was so good that I've not actually had to change much of it. So if you do hear your words read back to you guys, I can only apologise. So I thought if I start with planning, which is everybody's favourite subject, I think it's safe to say that it's been one of the busier years in terms of planning for our planning manager, Jane Llewellyn, coordinating with the chair of the planning committee and the committee itself in order to provide our statutory responses. We've had a high volume of planning applications, as well as some of the biggest single applications the town has seen for many, many years. So Jane picked out a couple of major applications just really to highlight this. The first one is the application for the proposed development under the working title of Selwood Garden Community. So this is for the land south of Frome, bounded by Marston Road, the railway line and the Frome bypass, and then some land south of that. So the application for that one is for an outline planning permission for the erection of 1,700 dwellings, 2 care homes, 12 hectares of employment land, a mixed-use local centre for primary school, cafe, restaurant and convenience store, and other supporting social and physical infrastructure, and the provision of green space. A separate application to that one was submitted at the same time, which was outline planning for a solar park with all matters reserved. So as you can imagine, these applications represent the most significant development proposals that Frome has seen in a long time, and it involved a lot of work for Jane and obviously the comms team, and I'll come back to that in a moment in terms of the crossover between the different departments that we have. But the pre-application discussions with developers and the public engagement events for that development started in 2020 and were a major area of work. Planning applications were formally submitted in August 2021. And really our aim throughout that process was to ensure that stakeholders and residents were fully informed about the proposals and have had the opportunity to engage with the Town Council and the developers. A series of stakeholder workshops took place in November 2021 together with the engagement events, and these were held online due to COVID restrictions at the time. As a result of those workshops and engagement events and the feedback we received, amended plans will be submitted. So basically changes have been made because of the engagement that took place, which is great news. That's for the residential development, and even more key really in terms of the feedback was that the solar park application has now been withdrawn due to the feedback that was given. And then a further round of workshops and public engagement will then take place as soon as those have been submitted. So moving on to community development. So this is another core area that the council, us as a council, we work on. Our community team have led, developed and delivered a new place strategy for Frome, which sets out an ambitious aspiration to create a playful town for both adults and children alike, and coordinated and enabled a place-based approach to the development of mental health services for children and young people, and continue to work in neighbourhoods to build street networks. We've also supported the development of the neighbourhood network, the restorative group, and the new Wild Bunch focusing on support street level ecology. The Year 8 Make It Happen conference took place recently, and 350 young people participated in a series of practical workshops were enabled to have a voice and feed into a number of topics, including placing votes for the People's Budget. We've continued to support community organisations through one-to-one support and strategic development days for boards of trustees, and have administered over £70,000 in community grants, which obviously we've heard a lot about tonight, 63,000 in substantial grants, and £3,690 of mayor's grants over the last year to many groups and organisations. And again, I would give a big shout out to Kate and her team for the work that they've done within community development, not just in the last 12 months, but going back through 2020 COVID and back further. It's been fantastic. One of the other areas that obviously we look at is resilience. And the resilience team over the last 9 months have been working closely with Somerset County Council and Sustrans, who are a cycling and walking charity, to design a school street scheme around Trinity, Critchhill, Oakfield and Avanti schools. The aim of the project is to make roads safer for active travel, walking, cycling and wheeling, and to create positive health and environmental outcomes. This will be the first school street scheme in Somerset and will hopefully be a blueprint for other schemes across the country. An inclusive approach has been taken to designing the scheme, with Sustrans running 6 community co-design events across sessions in September and October of last year, supported by the whole of the team at FTC. And the feedback received in those sessions has informed the draft design, which is now out for public consultation. We expect that scheme to be installed over an 18-month period, trial period, no later than spring 2023. And there have been significant delays and challenges associated with the project, which the team have worked hard to resolve, and we're pleased to now able to present a design to the public. Moving on to environmental works, which is the work of the Rangers. So this year the Ranger team have been supporting the Climate Change and Ecological Emergency Initiative by facilitating the Wild About Trees project, whereby FTC have planted hundreds of trees and hedging plants around our green spaces, and include Packsaddle, Chapman's Close, Eggford, New Road, Waylands and the Old Showfield. They've continued to change the work strategy to promote wildlife habitat creation and protection, and that includes leaving more of the lawn areas to grow wild meadow, being sensitive to completing tree works by leaving wood stacks for habitat, and have even completed hedge laying at the Muriel Jones and Birch Hill allotment site, which greatly improves the biodiversity of the hedgerow. This year, the Rangers installed a pond at the other side area of Welsh Mill to increase diversity in our open spaces, and are looking to expand on this by installing one in Rodden Meadow. And in the beds and planters, they've been planting pollinating perennials to create a rich environment that supports the wildlife of Frome. Moving on to economic development and regeneration, and this is the team led by Peter and Vivian. Local businesses have been through a difficult time, obviously, with various external events disrupting trade. However, Peter and Vivian, with support from our marketing and communications team, have worked hard to support the business community and those seeking employment and training as part of the local recovery effort. They've ensured that businesses have had the latest information on government grants and how they can apply. They've been signposted to sources of advice and have worked with the Chamber of Commerce to lay on events at which business owners can obtain the support they need from either specialist advisors or fellow business operators. Many people lost their jobs through the pandemic, and the economy and our economic recovery work has extended to supporting those to get back into training or work. And back in September, the council worked with Job Centre Plus and local training providers to coordinate the Spring Forward event to showcase training opportunities in and around Frome and at the Frome Carnival Fun Day, and work continues through the vocational training group led by the council. So obviously I mentioned certain areas cut across different departments and different teams, but really underpinning all of the aforementioned areas is how we as Frome Town Council communicate what we do and what we plan to do. And Frome Town Council would be unable to achieve any of the things we do without a professional, agile and dedicated marketing and comms team. So a big shout out to those guys led by Rachel. But the marketing and communications team, as well as spreading the word around all things Frome and the town hall, have as ever been super busy this year, delivering and promoting over 85 events. There have been workshops, conferences, information evenings, and then there've even been the larger events, the picnics highlighting the green spaces, We Feed Frome event, the ever popular Frome bus, and very importantly, having a presence at other people's events. There's also been the Lantern Parade signalling the Christmas light switch on, and that's before you think about everything else that happens at the town hall. However, I think as Andy mentioned earlier in his review, the jewel in the crown this year was the production of the first live audience drone show in the country. An extraordinary effort by the team for the truly impactful and accessible event, as it was designed to deliver across our strategic objectives. Supporting the community to come together, showcasing our amazing public open spaces, working with partners to produce exceptional work, and highlighting Frome in a way that the whole of Frome can be proud of. Coming on to then the internal side of things, so our business team, who are effectively the ones that look after the pennies. Apart from maintaining strong financial controls and stability throughout another unpredictable year, the business team have supported flexibility and cooperation across all the budget holders, and they've enabled Frome Town Council and the Town Hall to offer high-quality hybrid meetings so that councillors, staff, residents alike can attend more meetings in either person or remotely at a variety of times of the day and evenings from a variety of locations. So really access, openness and opportunity have been the goals. So finally, one of the other key areas that we've been focusing on and particularly Paul and a small team have been looking at is local government reorganisation. It's been a hot topic. And this effectively means that after what seemed like an age, the government decided in Somerset to merge the county and the district councils and to create a new Somerset Unitary Council. For us in Frome, that means Mendip District Council and Somerset County Council will become Somerset Unitary Council, and as some of you will have noted that the elections are on May the 5th. So in Frome, we've positioned ourselves well in the unitary debate, and the business plan that the unitary project team are following use virtually all of the recommendations about what the relationship between us in the town and parish sector should be like we were asked to pull together one of the 4 pilot local community networks to explore this relationship. And the Frome area LCN covers Frome and the surrounding parishes, and we're working together to address issues around children and families. LCNs effectively are a crucial element of what we believe will be a successful unitary council. It's all to play for. The other area that we've been working on is getting our house in order to decide whether to expand the role of Frome Town Council by taking on assets and services from the new unitary. We've had some very useful help from 2 senior ex-district council employees on which to base a discussion following the elections at the town level. So, to conclude, there's obviously been a lot going on over the last 12 months, and considering the things that we've covered are basically the main highlights. There's so much more that really I could have gone into, but we just don't have the time to go through them all. What makes the areas we've covered so much more impressive is that it just shows how much, as a council and a town, Frome punches above its weight. It's very much a repeated point, but as a parish council, Frome Town Council's statutory responsibilities are very limited, and are actually only to provide things such as bins, bus shelters, allotments, as well as holding an annual town meeting, as we are this evening. But as you can see, Frome Town Council provides and enables and encourages so much more than that. And due to a combination of a little-known clause in the Localism Act known as the General Power of Competence, whereby a parish council is able to do anything an individual can do, as long as it's legal, and a highly professional officer team, and a dedicated group of councillors, we've been able to deliver so much more for the people of Frome. I'd like to thank all of our officers and all of our councillors, as well as the many groups and individuals that we've worked with throughout the course of the last year. And as we move into a new council year, 2022-2023, and the prospect of a new council administration here in Frome Town Council, and of course local government reorganisation, we've got to remember the difficulties that people are going to be facing. A cost of living crisis is ahead of us. And the work of the community team, the resilience team, our economic team, and our marketing and comms team are going to be even more important. Helping those who are in need, signposting people to services and help they require, assisting local businesses to stay in business, and to make sure we get messages out there so that the people of Frome need to see where they can go. So the hard work begins again. Thank you very much.
And that's all she wrote. Thank you very much to everyone who came tonight. Thank you to everyone who got an award. Thank you to everyone who spoke. A couple of thank yous I forgot to give in my speech was to Paul Wynne, who's been a rock during these meetings. And if I've ever looked like I'm on top of it and I know what I'm doing, it's because of him. And a big thank you to Laura, who's been my assistant for the last year. If I ever look like I'm on top of it and I know what I'm doing out there, it's because of Laura. So it's 9 o'clock. Let's call this. Let's end this. Let's do it. Let's go. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one. Is there a bar? We got a bar or something? I think they didn't tell me about that until a minute ago. All right, have fun. The bar's downstairs, I'm told.